guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident Podcast, a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. And we are happy to have our co host, Simbasa, host and creator of the Simbasa podcast, a remarkable figure in the podcasting world. He hails from the Republic of Kenya in East Africa. He has garnered 3 nominations for Best African Diasporan Podcast by the APVA. In addition to this recognition, he has also been nominated for the Best Blog by the Texas Creator Awards. He has been a presenter at Afro's Audio Podcast Festival and recently participated at the 2025 Podfest. Welcome, Sabaza.
Thank you, Jen. How you doing today?
Good to be here. Yeah.
Another week, another exciting pod conversation today, and yeah, what do we have?
We do, and we have a guest. We'll be getting into this particular topic, redefining beauty, confidence, self-worth, and embracing change. So we're going to get into this particular topic, talking about the journey of embracing one's identity in the face of societal expectations. And we have a special guest that will join us in the conversation and that will share some experiences of what they are dealing with and how they embrace change and maintain confidence and self worth. So I think this will be a great conversation.
Yeah, it'll be one of a great conversation. As always, we have great content for people to come and listen to and watch. So yeah, this is one of those days that we have great guests, and we have such an awesome guest ready to join in.
We do. And before we introduce our guests, I have a few statistics about societal standards of beauty, but why don't you share the affirmation first?
Oh yeah, the affirmation for today is: I use obstacles to motivate me to learn and grow. I'll repeat again. I use obstacles to motivate me to learn and grow.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. As we have shared before, we'd like to have that affirmation out there to promote positive mental health behaviors. And approaching Mental Health Awareness Month, we will continue to do that and give you guys an affirmation to consider. So, about societal standards of beauty, again, our theme for today is redefining beauty, confidence, self worth, and embracing change. And the thought about that, right? This is maintaining self-worth in the face of societal expectations. So here are a few statistics about these standards of beauty that society has placed on us. All right. And so this is about body dissatisfaction. Over 45%, no, over 45 million people experience body dissatisfaction, which increases their risk of depression, anxiety, self harm, substance abuse, and suicide. This is from PR Newswire. So, again, over 45 million people in the world are dissatisfied in some regard with their body. So that's a shocking fact.
Right.
Let's do another one about social media. So this one is about social media influence. 1 in 2 girls say toxic beauty advice on social media causes low self-esteem. And that one's from Dove. Dove has done a lot of campaigns about positive body images, and we've seen that and things like that. So that again, it says that 1 in 2 girls say that toxic beauty advice on social media causes low self-esteem. So there's a lot of sources of what we should think about ourselves, whether it's social media, whether it's on the news or TV. Your thoughts on society's
Let me tell
view?
you, as a father to a daughter, that social media is really one that makes me fear, because people can see a lot of stuff, and you get triggered, and having low self-esteem is the worst thing, I think, with the youth. And I think goes both boys and the girls, and it kind of hurts you. And when you have that self-doubt and low self-esteem, uh, It's not a good fit for a human being.
For
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. So let's introduce our guest who will shed some light and join in this conversation about self worth, societal's views. But I did want to get your thoughts on that initially. And shout out to our viewers. We are doing this episode live, and we do have about 16 people viewing. So shout out to that. And thank you guys for tapping in on the live episode. The audio version will be available soon, but we appreciate the ones who have joined us live this evening.
And
And
one
feel
on what do you call it? On Clubhouse. We're already also live on Clubhouse right now.
okay,
Replays on
live
too.
on Clubhouse too. And so, if feel free to utilize the chat feature if you are taking advantage of this conversation on the live version. And we would love to hear what you have to say, or if you have questions or just want to say hi. We welcome that and appreciate you guys for tapping in with us. All right, so at this time, we will introduce our guests. So today we are honored to welcome our guest, who is a devoted wife and mother, a dedicated professional who has turned her personal journey with alopecia into a powerful advocacy mission. Our guest is passionate about empowering individuals facing hair loss, helping them embrace their confidence and self-worth. Her resilience and self-assuredness make her an inspiring voice in the conversation around beauty, identity, and self-acceptance. So at this time, we welcome Miss Angel Amos.
Hello, hey. Hello, everybody.
Hello, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Well, we're glad to have you here today. I'm stoked. Hey, we go a long ways, and yeah. Before we start, we usually have an African proverb. I don't have a country for this proverb today because it was suggested by somebody that we know, and I'll go right into it.
Okay.
And it says, "A cat that dreams of becoming a lion must lose its appetite for rats." I'll repeat it again. A cat that dreams of becoming a lion must lose its appetite for rats.
Hmm.
Okay.
Um, yeah, what do you think about the proverb? How do you translate the proverb?
I think that what that means is you just have to grow and say, I'm gonna leave a little stuff alone in order to be, elevated to the next level. That's how I look at
Absolutely.
Yep, I think we got it I had the same thing when I looked at it, and yeah, Jen, do you have any African American proverb that kind of goes the same way? You don't have to.
Let's see. Okay. So no, I don't think I do. I think I understand
Okay.
what the feeling is, and I agree. You definitely um have to shift and change your mindset if you want to aspire to do better and yeah, lose that appetite for rats.
There you
it.
go. It's like you wanna go a step higher. You gotta stop, hanging out with something that's gonna be taking you down, and then move to the next level.
That's right.
Okay, that sounds great. I like your answer,
Thank you.
and we're gonna jump in right into asking these questions. But we have to start with, who is Angel Amos?
Hey, well, I'm just me. I'm Angel. I'm 55 years old. I just recently been diagnosed with alopecia, probably within like the last 4 years. I just started to embrace it within the last 2 years. I struggle with it, but I just say it is who it is. It's not going anywhere. So I might as well
Yeah.
just go ahead and shave it off and then just embrace what I have. And that's what God gave me. That's what He made me. So I am who I am.
Okay. So people may not understand the whole idea of the condition. How did you notice it coming in, and how were you able to now say, okay, there's something wrong with me, and I think I need to go see the doctor. And then at that point, you get to be told, okay, this is what's happening to you. And I know there's a point where you have to think about it and then come to acknowledging that,
Right.
hey, this is who I am now. I have to
Yeah.
take it and look at it going forward. So kind of, I know I said a lot, but
Yeah.
I catch my drift, right?
What what happened was that, like, I mean, of course you've been knowing me for a long time, and I wore a lot of different hairstyles. Um, and lately I didn't know what was going on, but I started to lose my hair in the top of the crown of my head.
Mhm.
It would grow everywhere else, but this wasn't growing, and I was like, what's going on? So I would tell my wife, I was like, you know what? I think I got alopecia. She's like, you ain't got that. She was like, have you been checked? I was like, no, not really. So we went to a doctor in Grapevine. He did a biopsy, and lo and behold, I had it. So I was like, okay, well, let me try something else. So I was like, before I did anything, he had medicine, and he was like, it's a 50-50 chance that it will grow. I was like, I don't want to take this. So I let it grow a little bit. And I never forget, I had got these braids in my head. And I don't know what we was doing that day, but I heard a pop. And I was like, wait a minute. And when I lifted up my braids, the whole front of my head was just, all my hair was gone. So I called my friend Dina, and I was like, hey, this is what happened. And she was like, friend, just go and get it cut off and just deal with it. And I was like, but I don't want to, because I'm so used to having hair on my head. I was like, I don't want people to see me who I am, right? So I called my beautician. I went and got it cut. I still wasn't like 100% sure with it, so I still wore the wigs and everything. I was like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and just rock it ball and be done with it. So I was working at Home Good one Sunday, and I never forget this. It hurt my feelings. I was a cashier, and this little boy was staring at me. He was looking at me, and he said, "Dang, she ugly. She's like a little boy. She got no hair on her head." And I felt my whole soul just like kind of crushed. So I went home, and I never went back to Home Good. I never did. So I was like, I can't do this. So I think it was like last year, I just really started to say, you know what? And you just got to embrace it, because it wasn't growing. I mean, I tried everything out there. It just wouldn't grow. All the hair oil, the Rogaine, everything. It just wouldn't grow. It would grow all the way here, but it just wouldn't grow up there, right? So we went on this cruise one time, and this one lady told me, she was a friend of mine. She was like, Angel, why do you keep wearing wigs? She's like, I like you bald head. And I was like, I'm just doing it just because. And in actuality, I was doing it because I was still ashamed of it. So I hadn't embraced it yet, but now at the point now, I'm like, you know what? I am who I am. They go look at me, they're gonna stare at me, but it's just who I am. So I'm just rocking the ball now. I gave all of my wigs away. I think I had like about 15 wigs. I gave them all away. I said I'm never gonna wear it again. And I am who I am. So
So the strong part, this is the part that gets me. The part where you turn in and say, I am ready to conquer the world.
yeah.
Sorry about what happened. I don't know why I'm saying sorry, because the boy, maybe, kids will say some
Mhm.
rough stuff.
Yeah,
They just that's just how they're programmed. I think they're the only ones who can tell the truth. Kids and the old people. When you get older,
exactly.
yeah, when you're in between, you can't. You know what you need to say,
Right.
but you get to the point where now you're ready to, you've decided that this is it. How is the how did you, like, did you wake up one morning and say this is it, or was it something that you felt that, hey, today is the day that I'm going to decide I'm going to do this?
You know what? I'll tell you what happened. I
Mm.
went to the doctor last year, and I went to when I left the doctor, there was a restaurant that I went into, and this lady was in there. She's the owner. She said, your hair looks really nice like that. And I'm like looking at her like, really? Like nothing, it's nothing up there. She said, hey, she said, there's a pageant I want you to go to, which is the Bald and Beautiful pageant. So she's like, it's good. You'll be amazed about the women. She said, there's so many women that's like you. And I was like, well, okay. And when I tell you, I went to this pageant, I was like, everybody was in their ball, whether they had alopecia, lupus, cancer, everything. I was like, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it. So from that point on, I've not put a wig on since then.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so I think that's what happened to me. I just think that I've seen it, And I seen another for society like me. Because at first, all my friends have hair. Whether they rocking braids or just regular hair, everybody has hair. I'm the only one who doesn't. So I'm the outsider. So I'm like, But when I went to this pageant last year, I was like, you know what? They can do it. I can do it. And I've just been doing it ever since.
Okay. Because I was
Yeah.
like, this is it. When I saw it on Facebook, I was like, yeah, you're looking great. This is a new look. I mean, when you're doing this before I knew what was going on, I was like, wow, you still look great. So
Thank you. Thank you.
we did appreciate it. Yes.
But I can tell you one thing that I had some friends that told me. She said, "You know what, Angel? She said, I seen you cut your hair off before a long time ago." She was like, "So what's the big deal? Why you so nervous about it?" I said, "There is a difference between when you want to do it and when you have to do it." I said, "I'm at a point now I have to do it." Now, mind you, I shed plenty of tears. I cried many days, and I'm just like, I can't do this. But I just really came to the point, was like, you know what? It's okay. You know, so I've learned to just embrace it. I miss my hair. Don't get me wrong. I miss having hair. I've had long hair. I miss it, but this is the new norm. So it is what it is. It's the beauty that I have now. God did it. I guess you want
Amen.
to.
And thank you again for sharing with us, Miss Angel, as we, talk about self-worth and confidence and things that may hinder our confidence at times. Something like what you're dealing with, definitely can take a toll. So I wanted to ask you, how do you handle those moments of self-doubt and insecurity?
Oh, it's hard. I like I said, I shed plenty of tears. I love being bald, but then also I miss my hair. And the insecurity comes from some days you wake up and you look in the mirror like, this ain't it. So you put a cap on. Or some days you look in the mirror to myself, okay, you know what, I'm the shit. I got it. You put your makeup and stuff on, and you rocking your beauty. So you go through those stages. Every day is
Mhm.
not going to be the best day. It's just not going to be the best day, but you just have to embrace what you have and know, guess what? It's not over. It's not the
Mhm.
end of the world. I just don't have hair on my head. If I want hair, I go buy me some hair and put on my head. But
Mhm.
I just embrace what I have now. It was a struggle. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Absolutely. And then looks like you have some love in the comments here. Let's acknowledge that if we could.
Oh, sure. Let's see. I gotta go back. You going back all the way?
Let's go back all the way.
You
Oh,
got some, man. You friends rolling deep.
yeah.
Well, let's start with Ed. Ed, I'll say peace and gratitude family. Welcome, Ed. Thank you for joining us. And then we got Siobhan says Angel. All right. And we got Ken who's giving you love. And then down there, we have okay, is it let me say
So,
It's called Zarea.
oh, Zaria. Zaria, okay. She says growth. Okay. Shamika says hearts and she's clapping for you. And Ken says her story. Yes, it's your story with lots
hashtag.
of love. And Siobhan says she's sad. Okay. And hey, she says you're bold
Sad.
people. Okay, there you go. And your wigs, any Wrecker is hearts. And Ken says your wigs or any hair coverage is an option, not an obligation. What do you say to that?
As I said, it's absolutely true.
Mhm.
It's you don't have to do it. If you wear a wig, you wear a wig because you want to wear a wig. You don't have to. Like I said, let me tell you something. I didn't know that the community of alopecia or bald women was so big. I didn't. One day
Mhm.
on Facebook, I Googled it. And there are so many groups on Facebook for alopecia that is just amazing. And the support system and the sisterhood was just amazing to me, because I just felt that you just had to cover up, because people look at you different when you don't have hair. But also, when I do step outside my door, I do get a lot of people say, you know what, I like that. I like how
Mhm.
you look, sis. You look nice. So you do get some people to give you nice compliments, and then you do have someone that look at you kind of sideways like, hmm. That's different, you know. But for the most part, you know, it's a choice, and I just chose right now to not wear any cover ups, any wigs, or anything. Now you may see me with a ball cap on because I love caps, but you know, but for the most part, yeah, I am. You know, I'm gonna rock it. That's my truth. I'm gonna rock it from here on out.
Oh, we appreciate that. And
Yeah,
I think with one person like you bringing it out there and being confident as they are, even though, yes, like you say, some days are bad, some days are good. But when you step out and show out as you do, just you can, you can influence somebody you don't know.
yeah,
And they just
Absolutely.
like the way you went and saw the others at that pageant the first time,
yeah.
it gave you hope and gave you some strength. Somebody else might look at you and say, "Oh wow, okay, if she's doing it, I can do it." So, shout outs to you.
Because you know what happened? I worked for Walmart part time, and I was getting
Mhm.
off work one day, and this lady said to me, she was sitting in the car. She's like an older lady. She said, "Miss, I love your hair," and I was like, "Thank you." So when people say that, it kind of like throws you off a little bit, right? So I was like, "Thank you." She was like, "I want to do it so bad." She said, "But my husband won't allow me." He was like, he talked so bad. It was like, she said she just had cancer, and so she lost all her hair, but her hair was going back. Now she has alopecia, so now she has these spots. She said, and every time that she gets ready to cut her hair off, her husband say, "You're doing that again?" He's like, "Why don't you just go put
Um,
a wig on?" And she said she wants to embrace the baldness, but you know her husband doesn't want it to. I
Mhm.
said, "Well, what I can tell you, I can't tell you how to run your marriage. I can't tell you how to run your household. But what I can tell you is that once you decide to look in that mirror and see the beauty that you have, that's when you're going to decide what you want to do." I said, "He
Mhm.
cannot tell you what to do with your body because until you find that in your inside, you're never going to be happy." And she just had the little tears rolling down her face.
um,
Like, I don't want you to cry. I said, but I'm just giving you some history. I said, don't do it for someone else. Do it for yourself. You know. So I said, I tell you what. I said, my name is Angel. I work in a bakery. I said, if you ever need any type of encouraging words, if you just want to come in for a hug, if you just want to come in and see me, I said, you're more than welcome. I'm here 4 to 1. And she was like, "Oh my God." And she was just tears. And it just made me tear up. And I just gave her this big old, she got out the car and I gave her this big old hug. And so that made me feel good because, like you said, I inspired someone else. Who would think that me, inspired someone else? But you could
Mhm.
tell she was just like, I was like, just do you. I said, I can't tell you how to run your household, but I can tell you how to look inside that mirror and feel beauty because that's what's going to come from.
Angel, I think you need to extend that cake thing at the bakery for me too. I need to come and pick up some cake.
No,
I'm just saying, hey, you know.
let me
When I
know.
had cakes bakery, I was like, oh yeah,
Let me
we
know
need.
what you want. I got you.
All right. So as you talk about community, because you just started a great conversation about community here,
Hmm.
as it plays out in your journey. Now there's the mental health impact that comes into play. Then there's the cosmetic procedures that go into all this, and finally, there's also the media representation. Now, these are three items that we can we can talk about. I'd like you to mention. You've already mentioned how like it affected that lady and how it affected you in terms of the mental health impact. But how does the community at large come into play with you? Like your wife, your kids, your friends.
Yeah,
How does that help you um, conquer the rest of the day? They tell you you're great, beautiful, but there some acts. I don't know what they say. Those acts of love.
yeah. Well, I can tell you one thing. I have a very, very great support system. If I don't have anything else, I have a support system.
Mm,
They're going to support me whether I put a wig on or if I go bald. But once I decided to go bald, my kids love it. You know, my son one day he even shaved my head for me one day because I needed my
mm,
hair shaved, and he was like, "Mom, I can do it." And so he just shaved my head. My daughter, she called me little peanut head. Like I said, the friends that I have and the sisterhood that I've met with this bald and beautiful pageant, like the lady Ken. When I tell you the support system is amazing, it is so amazing. If I felt that if I had a bad day, I can probably pick up the phone and call one of them and they will make my day better. You know,
Oh,
there's
that's all.
just the support system I have is amazing.
Okay. And what about when you go into the cosmetic procedures? Do we are there any cosmetic procedures that would kind of mask off? I know you talked about the Rogan trying to make it grow back.
Yeah,
Are there chances that people do have alopecia that would get I want to say maybe get a chance, second chance to have
yeah,
their hair grow? Are there
yeah,
cases that people get their hair to grow, or some
yeah.
it's just once you get it, it's gone. It's it. That's it.
Well, the type that I have alopecia retina, which means that my scalp is burned.
Mhm.
So I can take, they was giving me this minoxidil, and they said it's a 50-50 chance that it will grow back. I said, well, if it's a 50-50 chance, then I'm not going to take it. You got to give me more than a 50-50 chance. So with the type of alopecia that I have, then it's not going to grow back. But there is certain, I don't know all the levels of the alopecia, but there is different levels that some people will grow. Like you may see some that have alopecia just in the top of their head, or some maybe just in the back of their head. But mine's is right here in the top, and it's just not going to grow back. So um I just decided that I didn't want to take any more. I didn't want to take no steroid shots. I didn't want to take no pills. I'm just gonna just let it do what it do. Now I have to shave my head 3 times a week, but I
Mhm.
hate that piece of it. But as far as the baldness of it, it's not gonna grow back, so I'm just gonna accept it and embrace it.
Okay. And lastly, uh, how do you feel the media represents women with their condition and bald women as such? Because now you have the kid. Sorry to go back to it, who had to say that stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe it's just what they see, or they're not used to seeing a woman without hair.
yeah.
What do you think the media is doing about it? And how is it represented?
Well, I think one thing about the media, so many women now are going bald, whether is just the thing to do or they're accepting what they have. It's worldwide now. It's bigger than what it used to be. Now, if it was maybe 5 or 10 years ago, then I would say it would be different. But right now, there are so many women out there that's bald, whether they want to be bald or they have to be bald. So it's out there with different type of creams, ointments, skin care for your head. So it's out there no matter what is it that you want to do with it. I just think that you just have to embrace it. Just media is going to be hard because it's going to be somebody looking at your podcast like, she bald. They probably turn their nose up. Then there's going to be somebody look at the podcast like, you know what? She right on. You know, but it's just you have to be able to express it to the community as far as what it is and embrace it. No matter what.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Because it's not it's I'm telling you one thing, it's not easy. It's not
Mhm.
easy
Mhm.
because you know you can step into a club and you leave the house and you head to toe, but you can go into a club or a party and somebody look at you like, you know so it's not easy. You're going to get those looks, and you just have to have
Mhm.
that confidence to say, you know what, I am who I am. And you have to hold your head up high and just walk through that crowd, because you're going to have men go look at you too, but like, nah, because they want the women with the long hair, the bust down wig. They want that. It ain't too many men that's gonna accept the bald head. I don't know if it's a challenge or what.
Mhm.
It's not. They don't. I don't see a lot of that. So you just have to walk with that confidence to know that you know what, you are who you are.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you sharing that message of having confidence, in spite of the standards of beauty. And you're getting so much love in the comments. So let's
Thank you.
see. I'm going to just acknowledge the folks out here. Let's see. I think that's where we.
And she did. She was the one who said it.
Okay.
Siobhan was the one. We was on the cruise. She said, "Why you got the wig on?" She was like, "Just take it off." She said, "I like you better with your bald head." And I was like, I just wasn't ready. And it was
Okay.
crazy because she just texted me on my phone. Her niece, I think her niece is probably 4, 5 probably. She was
Mhm.
just diagnosed with alopecia. And she sent me some pictures that where the baby hair is. She got patches of her hair out and on the side of her head. She just texted to me a few minutes ago. So again, I will have to learn how to talk to her. Name is Winter. Talk to Winter and be able to let her know it's okay, because
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
she's only 4. So she got a
Right.
long, she has a long way to go. She has a long way to go.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. I'm just gonna pop through some so you can see them.
right.
Hey, Dee.
Okay. Bridget, you look fantastic. Simbasa, do you?
Oh, sure. Okay, go ahead. And then Miss Bennett says your story inspires others. Tanya says we love you, Cicely and Tanya. Oh, that's from Cicely and Tanya. They say preach. Yep. Beautiful sis. Uh, Ken says I got your back. Yep. Sharonda, I'm proud of you for sharing your story, and we're proud of you too. Siobhan says, "Gosh," Sharonda says, "All that's all you can embrace and inspire." Hmm. Yep, let's do it. Do that's all you can do. Continue to embrace and inspire.
Yeah.
So much love, facts, and they're all proud of you. You got a whole squad behind you.
Yeah.
Oh,
And Shador says, "Bald and beautiful." She hasn't said anything. It's the first comment, so we'll read it out. And Siobhan lastly says, "Yes, ma'am," and it stands true for and diagnosed today. Wow.
Yeah. So that's her
wow.
niece. She was diagnosed today, so she's 4.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be a journey because, like I said, it's not. And I remember Winter having pigtails, and they always have her hair in braids, or she has ponytails and the little balls of
Mm.
forehead. So for her now to be diagnosed with that, it's gonna be the mother's going to need it, the aunts, the friends, because it's going to be new, because now, like I said, she has this patch of hair that's out, so it's just going to be new for everybody, but she going to embrace it,
Mhm.
and one thing that I remember, the lady, Katina, she's actually the CEO of the Bald and Beautiful pageant. Somebody had asked her one time if she's going to reach out and have a pageant for kids, or anybody under the age of, I think it's 18 and under. And she was like, yeah, one day she's going to look into doing something like that. So with that being said, Winter is 4, so she's going to probably be in that pageant because it's kids that have alopecia as well,
Okay.
and how are you going to have her to go to school? You're going to have her to go to school, is she going to be ashamed to go to school, or kids going to talk about her? So it's going to be something new for her as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
that seventh and eighth grade is the worst.
It is.
Mhm.
And I had a friend, her name is Sean, and she has a daughter. You probably know LaShawn Hall. Her daughter had alopecia, and London was completely bald. Landon was completely bald. And she said that this was before I had alopecia. Linda probably was maybe in middle school. So she used to go with alopecia. Your insurance can give you wigs. You just have to get them diagnosed, and you go to this place and you get wigs for free. They measure your head, you get the style or whatever. So London went to school that day, and she said they snatched her wig off in school. She said
Mm.
that she cried and cried. Like I said, this was before I even had alopecia. I didn't know anything really about it. And she said that she didn't go to school for like almost a month because she was so ashamed. So, because she had this wig on, and like I said, they snatched it off. So, what she did was,
Mm.
she said, "You know what, Mom? I'm just gonna go to wig. I'm gonna go to school with no wig on. Nope, she's gonna. I'm gonna just be bald." And she just started rocking the ball, and she's been bald ever since. So and she's skinhead. I mean, she's completely bald. Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
but like I said, it's a wake up call for everybody. And like you said, kids can be cruel, because they don't know any better. Like, why you got a wig on like that? And they snatch it off, and then you bald. It's like, oh, they didn't mean to do that one. But so it hurts, but it's just going to be a community to try to help all the kids.
Yeah, and Miss Angel, you mentioned this pageant, and we have a photo that we shared. But I guess tell us a little bit more. We'll go ahead and veer off from the script, and yeah,
Okay.
tell us about this pageant.
Well, the pageant, what it is it serves as a fundraiser for a She Is movement. It's a tax exempt non-profit organization. The mission of the organization is to provide service and resources to women who are transferring journey to become bigger and stronger and empowered from what they have inside. The Bald and Beautiful pageant celebrates elegance, confidence, unique beauty, and bald head women. The pageant is just not a competition, it's a platform designed to be ratified society for the beauty and empower women to embrace their personal lives. So it's just going to be a pageant that's basically, I think we start off like 25. I think we may have like 19 or 20 left. And women have alopecia, cancer, lupus. Everybody's just bald. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have, I think is my prerogative, which you have to like show off your who you are when you step out into the night outfit, and then your swimwear. You're gonna have a ball gown, and then you're gonna have a talent.
Okay.
So those are things that you're gonna have to showcase for this talent, and there are a first place, second place, and a runner-up. And it's going to be August the 16th in Mesquite at the Mesquite Arts Center. Tickets are in Bright. So if y'all listening, come join us. Come see us.
Or they can lend their support
Yeah,
if they.
Right.
absolutely. You can do your support. I do have Katina's information. If anybody's want, I can share with you. And you can post it on the podcast. Like I said, it's a nonprofit organization,
Mhm.
and it's all about fundraising.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Well,
Great.
we wish you well in
Thank you.
the pageant.
Thank you.
And this
Thank you.
is your second time doing it?
Well, this is my first time. I went just
Okay.
for to see last year, and when I tell you them women braced that stage, it was amazing to me. I was like, I'm doing it next year, and that's all I could say. I
Okay.
was like, that's gonna be me next year. So I had met Katina at the restaurant. The lady had called Katina, and she said, "I'm gonna let you, talk to the CEO." And Katina got on FaceTime and she said, "Oh my gosh," she said, "I wish you could have been in this year." She said, "But we're gonna get you in there." She was really supportive, and we have been connected ever since. And
Nice.
yeah, so we get together and we talk every day, me,
Mhm.
her, the other pageants. So it's more like a sisterhood. So we're gonna support each other no matter what. And they're from all walks of life: California, New York, Texas. They all over the state.
Oh, well, the thing is, you got till August, and your foot should be okay because that's the worrying part about it. I remember telling you, you got to sit that down because
I
no, we're
know
not having it again. No, no, no.
you.
So Angel has this thing where she works out, and that's the beauty about it. We're kind of workout buddies online,
Yeah,
and so with all this inspiration, then suddenly she gets hurt, and then like 2 weeks later, she tries to get back on her feet. So I think it was less than a month. That you knew you're not supposed to do that, and then here you are for the pageant. Look, let's get ready for that pageant.
I know. Everybody keep telling me that. I get that so many times. It's like, if I see that boot one more time, I'm gonna
Oh.
We don't
And
need to see it again.
what was funny about it was that when it
Hmm.
was time for the audition, we had to
Hmm.
do. It was like nine of us had to get on like a Zoom call, right? And so it was so funny because you have to say who you are, whatever. Then you have to walk like you were walking the pageant. It was like 5 step forwards and then 5 step backwards. And I was like, I got a boot on my foot. It's like so.
Oh.
I was like, don't discredit me because I got this boot. I really can walk, but I got this boot on my foot. So the girls that was on there, I promise you, they said, "Okay, Angel, it's your turn." So I walked and I did my little stop and my little pose. They was like, "Boot where?" I was like, "Okay, I'm in this thing." So yeah, I was like, "No more boots." So I
Okay.
promise you, I'm gonna stand good this time.
All right, we appreciate that. We
Thank
appreciate that.
you, thank you.
Now, I think we're gonna go to the chats here because I think Shador says we got some two important comments here. Baldy, yeah, Baldy squad. I'm here. Oh, I couldn't see it. Now I can see her picture. Okay. Then tell Winter she has a lot of bald and bold aunties who are standing with her. Thank you so much. That
Mhm.
I think will give her a lot of motivation. She definitely understands the hair is gone and kids are so cruel. And Shador says, yes, we're going to host a pageant for the children. So this is her chance. And then Ken and I definitely will. She she told me her hair is gone and I bald my eyes out. I've cried more today.
Mm.
And then Angel sent this. I need this. Oh,
Aw.
Everything happens for a reason.
hmm
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I didn't tell anybody. And we've been doing this podcast. We said we was gonna do it for a while. I didn't tell anybody about the podcast until today because I was so nervous. So I went to go. I went to go eat with some friends, and I was like, I got to get home because I got to get ready for a podcast. And Tamika was like, "Podcast? What podcast?" I was like, "Oh." She said, "So you didn't share it and tell nobody?" I was like, "Well." So I just started.
Oh my gosh.
I was so nervous because I've never done a podcast before, and again, I'm embracing something different. So
Mhm.
the world is seeing me, even though my Facebook people see me. Now the world sees me as, hey, this is a bald woman. So I was just like, I don't know how this is gonna go, so I'm just gonna wait to see. But I was like, oh, you know what? Forget it. So I just sent it out to everybody. It's like I'm gonna be on a podcast at 8 p.m. So
Wow, that's
yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you for sharing.
yeah.
Thank you.
And I think Shador is Shador the
She,
organizing it.
yeah, she's the
Okay,
CEO of
Okay.
the She Is movement. Yes, yes.
okay. Because now she says that they have early bird tickets on sale, so you check Eventbrite and yeah, get your tickets and get ready. It says
Yeah,
love this.
she's a not the food.
All right, and so we can't wait. Tanya says we can't wait to support you in the pageant.
Yeah, I
She
have
is.
I have a really really great support system. I really do. Like I said, it sometimes it can get overwhelming. Like I said, is you try to say, you know what, I am who I am, but then on the other side, it's like you see all your friends, like I said, with braids and with long hair, and it's just like you different, and I am
Mhm.
I'm different with no matter what. So it's just it gets hard sometimes, but like I said, with the support system and the love that I have with them, I'm okay with it. I'm gonna be all right.
Okay. Well, hey, like I said, you got to do it, and you're
Yeah,
doing it,
yeah,
and I think
Absolutely.
at this time it just shows out there. Um, One thing about, and I think I wanted to ask you about the condition that that you have, alopecia. It's not. It can get you from whichever age. There's no age.
oh yeah, there's no age limit. You can get
Uh-huh.
it. You can get it like in winter. She's 4, so you
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
can get it. And you can get it at any age, and sometimes it just happens.
Mhm.
And I remember when I don't know if you were no, you probably was gone by then, but it was a supervisor, Mary Chamberlain, that used to work for Verizon. She had cancer, and I think this time my hair was probably like right here. And I told her, I said, you know what, when your hair fall out, call me. I'm gonna cut my hair off. I'm just really talking, right? So I was off that day, and she called me. She said, "Angel, my hair is gone." I was, oh shit, wait a minute. So I had to literally go because I was a woman of my word, so I had to go and get all
Mhm.
my hair cut off. And so again, that's what I say to my friends. They say, "Oh, you've done that before. You've done that before. It's easy for you. Remember? Yeah, you remember?
Mhm.
Yes, I remember that, and I was like, "Wait a minute, you just did it," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay." Then you did it in support, and then now when you came to do it again, I was like, "Okay, maybe you saw it." So
Hmm.
to me, it was like you had done it the first time. It was like,
Hmm.
"Okay, I'm just testing it." Oh, I was doing the support of somebody, and then now here you're like, "Oh, you know what? I kind of like it, and I'm doing it." So I didn't know it was that. Okay,
Yeah, and a lot of
now
people
it
said
makes
that too. A
sense.
lot of people didn't know that because I've done it so often. They didn't know that I had this condition, So they was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
you've done it before," and I told them it is a difference when you have to do it and when you want to do it.
Mhm.
And that with that one that plan, I can cut it. I had to grow back, but when you have to sit in that chair or when you have to shave your head 3 times a week, it's different. It hits different, no matter what,
Mhm.
And you just like I said, you just have to embrace it. It's hard, but you just have to embrace it.
Mhm.
And I got this one of the girls that was in the pageant last year. Oh, I can't think of her name right now, but she had this tattoo, and I got it on my arm. I don't know if you can see it. It says, I am not my hair."
Oh, I love that.
So she had it, and I said, "I need that." I
Mhm.
love tats, so I was like, "I
Yeah,
need." Yes, I went and got it, and that's my statement piece. I just have I look
Yeah.
at it. I look at it often, and I say, you know what? I'm not my hair. And that's what the other day, like I said, I gave away all my wigs, all my bunding, all my glue, all my curling irons. I just gave it away. The whole bag of them, just gave it away.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's a great song, also with a great message.
Yes, absolutely.
Also,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. So, we got what message would you like to give out to the people out there about alopecia, and maybe something that they can stick to? I know you've said that it's you got to be strong, and
Mhm.
you have a community that's around you that supports you. But there's some people who don't have that community. What message would you have for them so that they can at least feel good in the morning when they wake up and say, you know what, Angel said this, and this is what I'm gonna look for. Now I'll stop for just a second.
Mhm.
Let's see. Shador said something right there. Can you show it up? She's the before that.
Bria,
Yeah,
I am
it's
not
not
for
for the weak.
yeah. It and
Okay.
it's not for the weak. It's not, like I said, it's a tough, and what I would, and I believe that the thing about is that Katina is going to ask some questions at the end of the pageant, and if I'm not mistaken, that question that you just asked me is something like one of the questions that she asked last year. And the biggest thing that I would do if I met a young lady who was going through what I was going through, just kind of embrace her and let her know, when you wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror, you say, you know what, I'm okay. I'm not like everybody else, but I'm okay. And the world will see you for who you are, but you got to have that self confidence. And once you have that self confidence, you will know yourself that, you know what, I can conquer the world. Because it's not easy. It's not an easy task, but it's easy if you learn how to deal with it. And because every day is going to be different. Every day is different.
Mhm.
You know, like I said, every
Um,
day, because you're going to see different walks of life every day. So, like I said, you may see some people like, "Girl, I love that cut on you. Yeah, that's nice." But then you may see somebody like, looking at you upside your head. So, you just have to know how to embrace it. And that would be what my thing to say. Angel said, embrace my beauty. Whether it's good, bad, or ugly. And some days, like I said, you may have a bad hair day. So guess what? Go grab a ball cap, put it on, and go in and out the door. You know, or
Absolutely.
you may want to grab a wig. So today I'm just not feeling this bald head. Just grab a wig and put it on your head. But at the end of the day, you have to look in that mirror and say, I am who I am, and I'm the beauty that God made me. And that's just, you just have to look at it like that. It's hard, but
Mhm.
it'll be okay.
oh, thank you for
Absolutely.
mm.
I'm
So,
sorry.
Angel, thank you so much for it. No,
Welcome.
it's really
Yes.
it's very nice. It's a very nice thought and a very nice gem that we should look forward to. And one more time, let's have the as we wind down, let's have that those pictures. So whoever wasn't here who's joining us right now can see that. So we're promoting the second annual bald and beautiful pageant,
Absolutely.
and Miss Angel Amos is going to walk the runway.
Absolutely. And
It's
guess
going to be
what? I'm contestant number 3.
all right, all right.
Okay.
I'm contestant number 3.
And
I'm excited, but
darling,
I'm nervous. As long as I won one, as long as I'm not at the end. So 3, I'm okay with it.
hey, and I've
No.
seen you practicing that boot, so I know you're good. You're good to go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I already been
Absolutely.
I've been
Okay.
shopping, so I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. All right. Thank you so
Well,
much
we
for allowing us the time, or giving us your time to be on the show
Always.
and talk about
Anytime.
this. And hey, I really appreciate it from the bottom of
No,
our hearts.
we
anytime.
do.
Anytime. Like I said, I was nervous in the beginning, but I'm good now.
Good. Absolutely. This has definitely been very inspiring. Your community is inspiring and definitely touched me. And I'm glad that we can put this out here. And yeah, I'm really happy that you joined us today, Miss
Thank you.
Angel.
Like I said, it's something that's out there, and a lot of people, still covering it up. So I just encourage people, just to be who you are, and one day you just release that heaviness, take that wig off, and just say, you know what, this is what God did. Get them clippers, shave that head off, and just be who you are. You know.
All right. All right. Any final thoughts, Simbasa?
No, I think, like I said, the show was great. And like Ken said, God is within her and she will not fail. Yes, amen. I'm going to go with that. And I think that's all I can say. The Golden Girls are always behind you. See, there you go. What else can you say? I mean, they're
Absolutely.
saying for us. And Angel, thank you so much for coming to
You
the show.
welcome.
Uh,
You welcome.
and
Oh, look who that is. Look at my son.
oh yeah,
Huh?
okay. So there's there's the main man out there.
All right.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah,
the tribe is coming through. This
right,
is
right.
cool. That's awesome.
Well,
Your number one support.
Absolutely.
thank you for having me, and I appreciate it. Like I said, again, the pageant is going to be August the 16th at 6 o'clock at the Mesquite Arts Center. Like I said, tickets on Eventbrite. You know, we would love the support. You know, just come out. Even if you can't come, if you can buy a ticket, give a ticket to somebody else. So the support is needed. And hope to see y'all.
All right,
Okay. We'll get
all
that
right.
link so we
Oh,
can share it. And yeah.
I would definitely. I'll send it to you. I'll send you the link and everything. Like I said, and just hope to see you. You and the family. Come out.
Okay.
You
And
you right up the street. Now, you know.
I got no excuse.
You right up the street.
come on.
Even if
You right up the
send a lady, send your wife and your daughter. Just come on.
They'll come. I'll encourage them to come for sure.
Like I said, even if you what you do is even if you want to buy some tickets, just give it to somebody. That's fine.
There we go.
Yeah.
We can support. If we can't do nothing else, we can get a ticket, share it. We will definitely do our part on that for sure. Okay, so let's do our closing, and please stay with us, Miss Angel. Again, we thank everyone for joining us. We hope that today's conversation has inspired and enlightened you. If you found today's episode meaningful, please consider sharing it. Our collective awareness and advocacy play a crucial role in creating positive change. We invite you to stay tuned for more engaging content, and we look forward to having these important conversations in the future. And let's see, I think we got everybody's comment. All right, and we'll have those links posted so that you can support Miss Angel as she walks the runway.
Contestant number 3.
That's number 3. Let's support her. All right, and everyone else, take care. Stay with us, Miss Angel.